Hi everybody. Wanted to do a video on the impact of storytelling for ourselves, for our own stories, that sort of churning thoughts that go on in your head, and the really important link between what you're thinking, which leads to what you're feeling, which leads to the actions you then take. So I'm going to use myself as an example from the last couple of days. I came back from convention, so many of you know that I won an award at convention. So I was up on stage, lots of photos being taken, both official ones and by my consultant friends. I hated every single one of those photos. And so the thought was, oh my God, I hate these photos. I feel so rubbish. We then got back home and our youngest, we went to bed, and our youngest stayed up late, and about 1:30, we got this knock on our bedroom door, which woke us, and he said, there's a really strange noise in the kitchen. We raced downstairs to discover a massive leak in the kitchen. We didn't go to bed till 3:00 until we'd isolated it, and we had tried to remember where the mains water tap was so that we could switch it off. Managed to get an emergency plumber out the next morning, which basically means today we're waiting for someone to come. Our kitchen flooring needs to be pulled up because the leak is under the flooring, and we have no water at the moment. So my hair, I'm looking at this thinking, you look such a mess, because we haven't been able to have baths or anything like that. Feeling rubbish. Anyway, we were all talking about how it's just one thing after the other in the house at the moment. We have had so many things go wrong lately. I won't bore you with the details, but we've had a new microwave, we've had a new tumble dryer, we've had another leak somewhere else. It's just multiple things. Full stop. Then Saturday at convention, we were very lucky to have Kate Garraway as our keynote speaker. And she talked about resilience and how one of the things that really helps her to be resilient is to be silly and have fun. And I was reminded of how important it is linked with that storytelling that goes on in our head. Because one of my children, whilst we were talking about it, and I was thinking, oh my God, this is such a disaster and everything's going wrong in the house and this feels crap, and I feel crap anyway because I, excuse me, because I hated those photos, just felt really down, really miserable. And one of my children said, hey, do you know what we should do? We should have a family bingo running, where we the next thing that goes wrong, we can cross off and we can play it until one of us wins. And we went around the table, this was at dinner time, and we went around the table saying what we thought would be the next thing that might break, from the experiences that we've been having in the house. And anyway, I then get up, start clearing away dinner, and on some of the water we've been desperately trying to keep it dry and mopped up and everything in the kitchen, I go over with a loud bang. I don't know if you can still see it, but there is a lovely bruise developing. And I've gone over on my ankle, twisted my ankle, so I'm hobbling a bit as well. I go crash down. Everyone rushes to help me, and I'm in a lot of pain. And and my youngest says, who put a broken bone as an item on their family bingo? That silliness. We all started laughing uncontrollably. It broke the tension, and we then went on to discuss how important it is to instead of thinking, oh my God, this is all disastrous and everything is going wrong. If I had started thinking to myself right from Saturday when I saw those photos of, thank God I've lost 1.5 stone already of the weight that I've put on. Imagine how I would have felt if I'd seen those photos and I hadn't even started to do something about it and started to take back control. And at least there was that. And actually, sod what I feel about the photos. I was on stage. I won an award in a year which has been very, very difficult for a lot of people anyway. And most of you know about my health issues. So to win anything is bloody amazing this year. That sort of storytelling, just saying it to you out loud like that, rather than the other things I was saying, makes me feel a lot better. So the story, the thoughts, leads to the feelings of feeling a lot better, which leads to then the actions of, so why would I sabotage that by going and eating whatever I wanted, and just trying to soothe myself and manage those crap feelings by eating? And the same thing with all of the things that are going wrong with the house. Instead of thinking, oh my God, what's the next thing? This is so time consuming, and it's taking so much money to fix everything. I dread to think how much it's going to cost to redo the kitchen and sort out the leak, and there's just so much that we need to do. I even got to the point where I was thinking, God, as the older I get, the more tired I get. And actually, maybe we should just downsize or think about downsizing. Little old lady talk, what? And instead, with Alex's quip about, hey, who had broken bone on their Christie family disaster bingo? It then changed everything to, thank God I didn't break a bone. Thank God. It was a leak that was detected by our son. Yes, he shouldn't have been awake at 1:30 in the morning, but it was a Saturday night, and thank God he was awake and that he did wake us, because otherwise what would we have woken up to in the morning, and what damage could have been done? And yes, we're without water, but we have an insurance scheme, which means that someone came around yesterday, identified it and contained it, and then we're waiting for someone to come today. So my eye is watering as I'm talking. And so switching all of that perspective to, thank God we have got the money to deal with all of this. And thank God we are both working. Many people are after COVID and have been drastically affected. We haven't really. Thank God we have a family environment where we can all help one another to feel better. And those helpful thoughts then lead to the really nice feelings of gratitude, I guess, that silliness and that humour, and changing those negative thoughts to really, really silly and helpful ones led to the feelings of, I'm so lucky to have this family. I'm so lucky that I've got a job that's seamlessly converted to virtual during COVID. We're so lucky that we had an insurance scheme that we can call on. I'm so lucky that blah, 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 blah. Then that leads to feelings of much more happiness, which then means that I don't self-soothe with the food. Just wanted to share that all with you today. What a weekend, but it could have been so much worse.